Welcome back to LittleLee and Rose. My name is Summer Noel, and today we are going to do a faux hand glittered cup. So I'm going to show you a way to make it look like the cup is basically hand glittered. It's super fun. We're going to use Mod Podge. You need a flat, clear spray and scissors, paintbrush. You would need a really sharp X-Acto knife, guys. So this one has a new blade. I've got my fabric picked out that I want. You want a really bold fabric. With lots of color changes in it. So I've got the whites and pinks and yellows. So I just picked this one to be fun as an example today for you. I've got my 20-ounce cup that I'm going to work on. Let's see. And oh, the best part. Today I'm going to be using Pegasus. This is from wickedshimmersupply.com. She's rad. I love her. She's very active in our group on Facebook. If you go and purchase from her, use the coupon code LittleLee and Rose. Nope, sorry, just LittleLee. She skipped Rose. So just LittleLee, all in caps, when you purchase here. It's wickedshimmersupply.com. So, and this is Pegasus. It's a super shiny, very opalescent kind of white. And you're also going to be using this really cool edge trimmer. This is from Wicked Shimmer Supply as well. She's actually the original designer creator of this. It is incredible. I just used it to cut a sticker that I didn't want all the way to the edge of the cup, and I just sliced the top and it made a perfectly straight line on my sticker. It was gorgeous. It is adjustable. You can add more washers to this. So if you want it to sit up higher and get a higher line, you just add washers in here. It comes with a whole stack. I just removed them because I like a very low, shallow line for my fabric cups. So basically we are just going to jump in and get started, and I'm going to clean up a little bit here and get what we need for the first steps out, and we will get jumped in. Okay guys, so we are back. You don't have to iron your material or anything. You don't have to do anything special to it because we're going to be stretching it. Really what you want to do is just get in there, figure out how wide you need it. I always leave a little extra on the top and the bottom, like an inch, and I cut it later, and just that way I don't have to try to get it exactly perfect, because that just takes too much tedious time, and I'm always about efficiency of my time. So I basically need this panel, which I can measure out. So I'm just gonna cut this panel, this little square out, kind of helps me with my measurements. It's okay that I have this weird edge. It's gonna be cut off eventually anyway. If you've seen my other fabric tutorials, you kind of know where I'm going with this. So we're getting that started. We're just getting that big bold pattern cut out. It's nothing fancy. You can do this with a rotary cutter on your mat, but we're just going to jump in here with scissors because the edges do not need to be clean at this point because we're going to cut them all again anyway. Okay, I'm going to chuck that over, and we are going to take this and lay it down and just make sure. And that's beautiful. So you see you got all those big, bold flowers on there. That's gorgeous. It's going to look really, really cool with this method. Okay, so let's see. We are going to just jump in. I'm going to lay my this is just down to catch any of the Mod Podge so it doesn't land right on my fur, even though this fur is super easy to wash. And I'm going to just quickly dump some of this out. Going slow. It's nighttime here, so it's cold. My Mod Podge kind of seizes up when it's cold. Here it comes. Usually I don't make you guys watch this stuff. Sorry. So boring. So boring. Okay, that should be plenty of Mod Podge. We're just going to set that. I use the cap on my Mod Podge as like my paint holder. This Mod Podge has been with me forever, so it's probably also thickening up. So I go all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom. I don't worry about lines or stripes. Just get it on there. It doesn't need to be pretty. It's going underneath. And if it's too thick in areas, it doesn't matter. So just glop it on. Usually I put you guys on high speed for this kind of stuff, but I'm very fast, so I don't think it's going to be too, I hope it's not torture to watch this. All right, so you get a good layer on there. Make sure it's all on there, all the way top to bottom. Then you drop it down in the middle. Let's see, right there is good. You're going to take this side, the side with the weird ugly edge. You won't necessarily have an ugly edge, but I do. You put that on first. Smooth out the fabric. lift it, bring it up, pull it. You can pull it tight, very easy. Lift it a little bit, got a wrinkle, just smooth it out. You got workability in here. Just work out those wrinkles, smooth them out with your hands. Nothing fancy. Okay, then we got that. There we go. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here with the Mod Podge. Mod Podge this down. Again, if you have seen my fabric tutorial, you can just zip past till we get to the next part, because you already probably know the stage. But I want to walk through it just in case there's people watching that have not seen my fabric to Tumbler tutorial. You kind of know what I do. So I bring the Mod Podge from the top to the bottom and I go extend it out past. Okay. Then you're going to drop that down over that lip. There you go. So now you got your cup wrapped. You have these big, gorgeous, beautiful flowers all over it. Now we're going to cut these edges and we're going to give you a really nice, clean line. So you're going to take, I'm going to cover my Mod Podge. This is why it probably is thick, because I always end up leaving it open. Move that camera. So now you're going to take your really, really sharp X-Acto knife. And you need a lot of pressure when you do this, you guys. So I know that the edge is about there. I want to go about, I can feel it under there. So I'm going to just punch through at the top. Go through both layers, get my tip. Okay, so I took it and I punched through both layers of the fabric, so you know you're all the way through at the very, very top of the cup. And just hold that tip down. You can see I'm white knuckling it, guys. Push as hard as you can. Go slow and steady, brand new. Make sure it's a brand new blade, otherwise it will pull and leave you frayed edges. Some people wait for their Mod Podge to dry and then do this. I have found that this works just fine as long as you have a brand new blade. Just go slow and steady down that edge. Keep lots of pressure on that knife. That's the way you know you're cutting through both layers. Slow and steady, don't try to rush. When you rush, you screw up. And I just run off the edge. So now I know you guys scream at me through the camera, like, don't cut towards yourself. I could cut myself if I tried with this, guys, because I have a tripod in between my legs. I literally have my arms through the tripod. So even if I slipped and came straight towards my body, I would just hit my tripod. So I can't get enough pressure and go away from my body with the tripod in between my legs. But I have messed with this camera angle and messed with the camera angle, trying to get a different angle that works. But this is just the best one, so I just straddle the camera. Okay, so you can see I'm just pulling out. This side doesn't matter if it frays because we're eventually going to cut that off anyway. So now you're just going to peel. This is the extra bit. Peel that away. Then we're going to lift this side back. We're just going to gently peel it. You want to be very careful of the edge of this fabric, guys, because it will fray if you handle it too much. So just gently peel it away, little at a time. The reason I do that little bit of Mod Podge, guys, is because if you don't, the fabric will slide all over the place while you're trying to cut it. So even though it's still wet, it has enough tackiness that it will hold and have a little. So there you go. See, it was a little stuck to the fabric by a thread, and you don't want to pull, guys. You want to just, if you feel the tension like it's holding on, just get back through and cut. So this is probably didn't cut all the way through because it was farther away from my body, so I couldn't get enough pressure on it. Darn tripod. Okay, so there we go. So now you have that. And what we're going to take is our Mod Podge again. I probably have enough in my brush. And just smoosh it down. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to just carefully lay this down and meet it right up to that edge. If you do see a frayed something, just leave it for now. You can wait until it's completely dry and Mod Podged, and then go back through and cut it and move it out. You just don't want to, you want to handle this edge as little as you possibly can while it's wet or fresh. Once it's got a couple layers of Mod Podge on, it is less likely to fray on you. So I'm just tapping. If there is a frayed piece, I'm just tapping it in. You won't see all this, guys, underneath the glitter. I'm just doing this because if this is your only fabric tutorial you've seen of me, I want to do it thorough for you guys, so you don't screw up if you're doing this as just a fabric tumbler. Okay, so now I'm going to reopen this. I'm going to cap my X-Acto knife so you don't need that again. And I'm going to get some Mod Podge out and we'll do a layer of Mod Podge. Okay, guys, sorry. I just didn't want to make you have to sit and watch me try to dump out my Mod Podge again, so I got it all out first. Okay, so I'm going to start on the seam. That word would not come to me. I was thinking about glitter already. My brain was stuck on glitter. Super excited. So I'm going to do a layer of Mod Podge over this and just really anchor this fabric down. I'm going to use a heavy, heavy coat. I'm just using fabric Mod Podge, guys, but you can really use any. I just got a bunch of Mod Podge on clearance at Hobby Lobby, so I bought all of it. And I've kind of found that it doesn't, if you're just crafting with it, no like specific, like if you're making a chalkboard, you obviously want the chalkboard one, but they're all pretty much the same. The dishwasher safe obviously is different, but they kind of all work about the same, have the same concept. I haven't found that it makes a difference which one I use for any of my tumblers so far. So we're just using kind of a lot of Mod Podge, but that's okay. It dries clear, you won't see it. If you've never worked with Mod Podge, it's great. Oh, it rippled up a little bit. What happened there? Got a little ripple, I'm gonna smooth it out. I have to smooth it with two hands, I can't do it with one. Okay, so if you get these little weird little balls, that just means there's a fiber on top of your, and it balled up inside the Mod Podge. We were talking about this in our group, my Facebook group yesterday. So that's just contaminants on the top of the surface. It could be a little piece of the fabric frayed off, but I could just go through and pick them off. There's usually not too many. I brush them towards the outside. Okay. See, right there was a fuzzy. I know you guys all yell at me about my white fur, but it doesn't usually affect me too much. It's bothering my Mod Podge more than it usually does even my epoxy. How funny. But I use the white background with you guys because it makes it very easy for you to see what I'm doing. So people give me a hard time about it, but yet if I used a black background, you wouldn't be able to see at all any detail of what I'm doing. Okay, so there we go. We got a nice thick Mod Podge. It's already drying. You can see it's amazing. So we're just gonna let this dry in front of a fan for a while. I'm gonna pull that little seam out and we will be right back, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. Here we go. This one has cured. It's got the one layer of Mod Podge underneath and the one layer over the top. Now we're gonna trim it. So I'm just cutting this extra fabric away because it's just gonna get in the way. And cutting it off. Okay, so then we're gonna use this awesome fabric trimmer. So if you haven't seen me use this, guys, this is gonna blow your mind. You can purchase this at wickedshimmersupply.com. Use the coupon code LittleLee in all caps. I will link this underneath the tutorial. Because it's amazing, you guys. You can use this to trim your fabric. You can use this to trim if you have a decal, but you don't want it all the way to the lip. You can trim your decal. You can tape off your electrical tape around the bottom. And if it's not straight, you can use this to get it straight. It's adjustable. So it comes with a whole bunch of washers here. So you can make it higher or lower. It's very, very, very cool. So what I'm going to do is and it comes with extra blades. So you can, if it gets dull, you can resharpen it. So what you're going to do is just push the cup up against it and just turn the cup. I always go around the cup twice just to make sure that I don't have any spots that are left uncut, because you don't want to pull, because that's when you get those weird little threads that pull. So I'm just going to run through it twice. You can feel it the second time. It gets a lot slipperier because it's not cutting through much. But this way you just make sure you catch all the little fibers, and see, just like that. Doo-doo. So now I will go through with my X-Acto knife and catch these little edges. Well, this I can probably just do like this. There we go. So that one is done. Now we're going to flip it and do this opposite side. Go around it twice. And pull it off. And there you go. You can see it gives you that absolutely awesome edge. All this is just Mod Podge. It can be cleaned off at the end, but now we have a cup with a beautiful edge. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to tape this edge off, and then I'm going to spray paint this with Super 77. Not spray paint, I'm sorry, spray coat it with multi-purpose adhesive, Super 77. And but I'm going to tape it off with the electrical tape, and then we're going to glitter it, guys. So I am going to get this taped off, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, you can see I've got it taped off. Just electrical tape that butts up right against the fabric. It doesn't overlap the fabric at all. It just goes right up against the fabric. There you go. And I'm going to go spray this with Super 77. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back, and it's covered. Now, it's dark outside here. I do these tutorials into the ungodly hours of the night. And so I sprayed a little too much Super 77. I got a little too heavy, so it's a little kind of white. But, well, it is what it is. So now we're going to take our Oogie Boogie. I've got my parchment paper down. Parchment paper is just there to catch the overflow. And I'm just going to sprinkle Oogie Boogie all over. Now, Oogie Boogie is a color from Wicked Shimmer. It's the same place you would buy that fabric trimmer. And use the coupon code LittleLee, guys. We're just going to keep working our way around. Ooh, it's gripping a lot more of the glitter than it normally does because I added so much Super 77. Okay. All right, so there you go. Then you tap it off. Because you just really want a really fine amount of glitter on there. So you want to get any of the extra off. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to pull, actually, give me just a second, guys. I'm going to clean up this glitter and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so what we're going to do next is we are going to let this dry. Then we're going to spray it with a clear coat sealer, which is a clear spray paint, Krylon, Rust-Oleum, triple thick, all that stuff. It works. So whatever clear spray paint you have, use that one, because it works fine. So it doesn't matter which brand it is. I'll, of course, link you guys for everything underneath so you can see what I use and what I do. And so we're going to let this dry for a bit with that Super 77. Then I'm going to clear coat spray it. All right, guys, we'll be back. All right, guys, you can see now we've got it coated in the clear spray. And you see just putting on that clear coat spray just really made that glitter, I think it was Oogie Boogie that I used on this one. Yeah, Oogie Boogie. That I used on here, it kind of goes transparent, but still leaves all the shimmer. So it makes it look like all these little roses were painted in glitter. It's really cool. It's just kind of a faux glittering effect. Faux hand paint glittering effect. So now what I'm going to do is I've got the coat of clear spray on there, and I've got my glitter on there. I just want to pull the tape just so you guys can see it. And then we're going to actually retape it. But this tape is so gooey that I don't want that interfering with my epoxy. If yours isn't all gooey, guys, you don't have to pull it, but mine was really messy. All right, so there she is, beautiful. So what I'm gonna do is let this dry. The clear coat is still wet. I literally just sprayed it. So I'm gonna let this dry. And then I will, once it's dry, I will retape it off and we will put it under epoxy. All right, so this is gonna probably sit for 24 hours. I wanna make sure that triple thick is really dry before I put it under epoxy. If you put any moisture, if anything is moist under your epoxy, you get this weird cloudy, ugly spot. So we don't want that. So we're gonna definitely let this sit for 24 hours. All right, guys, see you soon.
All right, guys, here we go. This is gonna get a set of epoxy. You can see it's been about 24 hours. Usually I've got so many projects on these, end up sitting for quite a while before I can get to the next one, because I've been doing so many tutorials for you guys and filming, and I've got my own orders I gotta work on, and, well, you know, triplets. They use my life. So I'm already wearing my chemical mask. Guys, you gotta wear one of these. It's very important. Nitrile gloves, safety equipment, always, guys. You use your silicone brush to apply it so you have like no contact really with even with your gloves. You mix A and B together. Here we go. And if you haven't seen me work with epoxy yet, you can jump on any of my on my channel and watch pretty much any of my other tutorials and see me working with epoxy. The way to see all the other tutorials I do, guys, this is not my only one. I have lots and lots of them, so if this is the first video you're seeing of me, you can check it out. You just go to LittleLee, underneath this video, it says LittleLee and Rose. You can click there, it'll take you to my channel, and you can click on everything. I've got a bunch of tutorials on how to do really crazy things with cups and working with epoxy and different methods to apply stuff. It's really, really awesome, you guys, and I have a Facebook group that you can ask questions in. Especially if you're a beginner and you've never worked with this, you're probably going to have a million questions. We're there to answer them for you. We don't mind the same questions over and over. We get that people are learning. Everyone's excited to help you guys. Okay. Also, underneath the video, right by where it says LittleLee and Rose, and that's the description, and it says read more. You can click the read more, and it will give you a drop-down menu of all the links you guys need to see my Etsy store, my Facebook group that I was just talking about, and all the links to the supplies that I use in the video, you guys. So the torch, the silicone brushes, the silicone mats, even the turner, the motor for this turner that I'm using, it's rotating the cup because the cup epoxy is self-leveling. So it needs to be moving at all times. It needs to be spinning so that the epoxy doesn't just drip off. But I do have a version, it's called the hang method. You guys can watch my how to glitter a cup using hang method, how to apply chunky glitter to a cup using hang method. That is a way to do the epoxy work without having a turner. So if you are brand new and you're not sure you're going to like doing this, you can use the hang method to make a couple cups to see if you like it. But I can guarantee you you're going to love it because it's a very addicting craft. All right, guys, I'm going to put you on high speed while I apply this. All right, guys, we are back, and sorry, I will sound like Darth Vader. I do actually have extra. I always mix extra because I've got a bunch of other projects behind me that I'm working on. Now we're going to torch it because even though you can't see the bubbles, there's definitely bubbles there, and you will be able to feel the texture through the epoxy. So they're like micro bubbles. I can actually see them popping. There's a ton of micro bubbles all over it. You also want to keep wearing your mask for this, guys. So this torch will pop the bubbles. Okay. Let it catch up to me here a little bit. And if anything drips on the silicone mat, it's okay. The silicone mat, it won't stick to the silicone mat. Once it's dry, I can just peel it off like a sticker. All right, so now we've got that. Okay, and now we're going to peel our tape. You want to peel the tape immediately so you don't get runny lines on your edges. All right, there she is. It's so pretty. So pretty, you guys. So this is how you get a faux hand glittered effect. Because it looks kind of like it's all done with glitter, but it's really just fabric covered with glitter. And this glitter choice works incredibly well. It's gorgeous. And it just adds an extra little sheen, a little shimmer. You can see all the sparkle in the video. It's gorgeous. All right, guys, so we're going to let this cure for about 9 hours, and we're going to keep going.
So we've got this cup completely done with the epoxy. We've got the bottom. You can see it's taped off. I pull my tape immediately, you guys, and that way you get you can see the like razor sharp edge up here. It's perfectly done. It looks gorgeous, and that's because you remove the tape immediately. Now, I kind of thought about what would be pretty on this, and I'm going to go with this decal. It says, well-behaved women seldom make history. And I'm like, that's very appropriate for me right now because this is a moment where this is an epic day for us here, and the show must go on because my whole entire house is flooded while we were on vacation. So we are in the middle of having to be moved out by a special company is coming and moving us completely out of this house. And we will be moving out tomorrow. And here I am still making tumblers, still doing my thing because you guys, the show must go on. Luckily, we found out that my workspace out here can actually stay here. So it did not receive any water damage. It's the only spot in the entire house. So I will be able to keep going. So what I do is I figure out and I line it up. I'm pretty good at eyeballing. And then I press the middle down and I hold the edges up with my hand, and then I push one side down and then I push the next side down. Now I just made this right in the middle because the seam is here. So I just put it on the opposite side of the seam. And it was actually perfectly located over a white flower, so it would make sure that this would show up really, really well over it. But you guys can use any fabric. I do recommend using fabric that has lots of light and dark contrasting in it, so that way you really see the details come through the glitter. This will actually be sold in a glitter pack, guys. The glitter is absolutely gorgeous. It will be available with glittergang.org. And she will have it as an option where you can get this decal and you can select which color. She's going to have like 4 or 5 different color options for the decal. And then it will come with the glitter, the white glitters. And it's going to be a really easy, fun package. Just very simple, but it's so that you can replicate this and get a decal and the glitter. So in case you don't have a decal cutter, you can just buy the kit. So it'll be really nice and easy. And the price will be really good. It's premium, gorgeous glitter. You will not be disappointed. All right, so I'm just pulling this away. Nice and easy. Stick that off to the side, and there you go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my electrical tape, and we are going to cut some pieces, and we're gonna retape off this top. All right, so since we are going to be working with the tape, I put this little mat underneath just so we don't get this all stuck all over the tape. And then we're just gonna pull up some pieces, retape off the top and bottom because you don't want epoxy going up or down there. Like you've seen me do in all my other videos, I actually take a little too much because I'd rather have too much than too little, and that way I can make a nice tab so it's easy to grab onto. I'm just gonna let this tape follow right along the tops of this cup. So this is a really fun technique, guys. If you have like some of those superhero fabrics or anything, you can just lay the fabric down, do this beautiful translucent white glitter over the top, and it will look like a glittered image. It's really, really fun, and it's really, really cool to do. And now that I said that out loud, and I'm thinking to myself, that's probably what I should have done on camera with you guys. But well, copyright and trademark, I gotta be careful. But yeah, it would look really cool like that, or just one of those fun patterns with all the shapes on them and stuff. So there we go. We got that done for the top, and we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. Then I'm going to go ahead and re-epoxy this. Guys, I'm not going to do this level of epoxy. You've seen me epoxy this already. I don't want to waste your time. I want to make this a nice short video. So I'm going to epoxy off camera, and we'll be back. There you go, guys. She is so beautiful. It came out even prettier than I was kind of expecting. I wasn't planning on putting a decal on this, but then I found this decal, and I'm like, oh, that works so perfect, and it looks so good. And this says, well-behaved women seldom make history. And that is so true. And women are so powerful. And I just loved it. I love the message that it has, and it looks really, really cute on the cup. And she's all finished. So you can see the lines are very, very nice and sharp along the bottoms and tops. They're very cleaned up. I didn't have to do anything because I was removing the tape immediately after I epoxied, so I didn't get any overspill up here. And so that's taken care of. You can see this gorgeous, like it almost looks like I said, a faux glittering. So this kit will be available with glittergang.org. It's going to have the white glitter and a decal, and she's going to have the decal in multiple colors, you guys. So if you don't want it in pink, but you love what it says and you love this decal, you want to do a peekaboo with it, or you just want to use it on a cup just like I did, you can buy the kit, and it's going to be the glitter and the decal together, okay? So that'll be with glittergang.org. The link will be under this video, tutorial. You can click on the down arrow or the read more, and it'll show you a whole list of supplies, and the link for glittergang.org will be in that section right there. So it's right under this video, you guys, right by where it says LittleLee and Rose. It should say read more, and you can see the all the supplies I used and get it from there. All right, guys, I hope you learned something good on this tutorial. It was a really fun one to do for you guys, and I'm sure this cup is going to find a wonderful, loving home with whoever gets it. And I will see you guys on the next tutorial. Bye, guys.